Hello everyone and welcome to this week's reviews. Quentin Tarantino has depicted World War II era Europe and the Old West, and now for his newest film, he takes us to Tinseltown in 1969, as we follow three characters on three separate days. This is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Tarantino is known for his movies having conversational scenes and unpredictable plot threads. Those elements do appear here, but his approach to showing his protagonists' lives in Once Upon a Time is a little different. This can best be described as a hangout movie. So much of it involves following television actor Rick Dalton, his stunt double Cliff Booth, and real-life actress Sharon Tate as they go about their days, and we jump between their individual storylines. And I was completely enthralled. Even though the movie is 2 hours and 40 minutes long, I did not feel that runtime. Something that struck me about the film is how heartwarming it is, not exactly the adjective often used to describe a Tarantino movie. He allows us to sympathize with Dalton as he comes to grips with his career and its current state, and Leonardo DiCaprio captures the character's vulnerability very well. Much has been made about Sharon Tate's presence in the film, but she's more of a background character. However, what we do see of her makes for a sweet tribute, and Margot Robbie captures how charming and lovely Tate reportedly was. Of course, anyone familiar with what happened to her in August 1969 will feel that dark cloud looming overhead, and Tarantino more than handles that aspect. With the setting, he also makes Once Upon a Time into a time machine, and there's a clear love for the era, which proved a shifting one for Hollywood. I've long been fascinated by Hollywood in the 1960s, so this film played right to my sensibilities. It works as a tribute to the films of that decade, and also becomes a celebration of that feeling of watching movies on the big screen or in a communal environment. Tarantino's passion for the theatrical experience definitely comes through in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and that adds to its sincerity. Next up is the touching story of the bond between a grandmother and her granddaughter in The Farewell. That's only a brief summary of what this film is about, though. The Farewell also touches on trying to understand different cultural traditions even within one's own family, and the ethical quandaries that can come up with dealing with a loved one. This is very much a character piece, as director-writer Lulu Wang focuses a lot of scenes on just the family and seeing their conversations. There's a simplicity to the direction that I think works beautifully. Awkwafina, who most of you probably know from comedic supporting roles in movies like Crazy Rich Asians and Ocean's 8, really proves her dramatic chops as the lead protagonist Billy, and handles the difficult emotions she is feeling. I also have to mention Shuzhen Zhao, who plays the grandmother. She does a really good job of showing her feistiness and her continuing to prove her independence even with her worried family watching over her. While The Farewell is specifically about Chinese traditions, there is a universality to its story and message, as we see this family grapple with how to properly say goodbye. Then there's the message, where it touches on the cultural divide between Billy's American upbringing and the views of her China-raised relatives. This creates some interesting questions about how to handle certain subjects and wanting to do what's best for the elder family members. Overall, The Farewell makes for an appropriately emotional story, beautifully directed by Lulu Wang. The film is steadily expanding during its platform release, so if it opens near you, it's worth supporting. Thank you for watching this week's reviews, and I'll see you next time.